Hey guys, cool here. Welcome to another Alika video. Guys, this will be a fusion tier list. I've decided to do this for some reason. Well, I was a bit bored and I was thinking, okay, we've got a fragment fusion coming this week. It's going to be a fun way to reminisce on all the fusion that we had so far in this game. And, okay, just put them in different tiers. So like a Goth tier and then go down the list to, you know, the very bad champions. So I made like a fun list with all the champions that we had as a fusion in the past. I did not include champions that were needed to make the legendary fusion, so the top the top fusion. So like for here I did not include Justicar here. I just included Relic Keeper. The same thing with Broadmouth. I did not include these parts of the fusion. There were some fusions in the past that had good champions underneath them. For example, great example is Umbro Enchantress. She was one of the rewards of a past fusion. Can't remember exactly which one it was, but it was more than a year ago, for sure. Anyway, let's get started because the list is quite long. Here is the list. Here are all the champions that we can actually go and put in our tier list, and these are the names. So we've got the God tier. God tier, there's few of them. I won't be giving the God tier reward to every single one of them because there's some that are just God tier, and then there's some that are just amazing. Okay, the God tier, you'll know which ones there are from the list. If you see them, you've been playing for a while, you'll know which ones I'm thinking. If you of course disagree, put it down in the comments. I'd love to see your comments, guys. And of course, while you're at it, click that subscribe button and the like button. Okay, so let's get started with Alika here. She was one of the first few epic, except for shield guards, as a fragment summon. So let's go to the barbarians. Here's Alika. Not that great of a champion. She was just a book hungry epic to summon, and nobody really wanted to book her out. Look at this: 7, another 6, and another 7 books. That's insane for an epic that has single targeting skills on 2 spells, and then this one's an AoE. She's not that great. She's not that worth it, honestly, to book her out so much. She does some good damage if you got the gear, but so does so many other champions in this game if you got the gear. So definitely Alika, I would give her, if I'm very strict, I could actually put her in the absolute trash tier just because of the amount of books that she needs and the investment that is not worth the reward. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna put her in here in the absolute trash. You can go ahead and deny this if you want to, but for the amount of books that she needs, absolute trash. Okay, boom, that's it. Next one is gonna be Astralone. Astralone here was a very recent fusion. He was February fusion, if I remember correctly. So let's go over to Astralone and check him out a little bit. So yeah, there he is. I actually picked up Astralone, but I'm not really using him. Great champion, actually works so well with Countess Licks. On my free-to-play account, when I see a Countess Licks and Astralone, I just avoid them because of the cleanse that Countess Licks provides to Astralone and helps him survive a little bit longer. He's crazy because he can actually stun all enemies when he attacks. If you book him out, that's a 100% chance to stun, which is insane. Give him some accuracy, like 200. He's probably gonna stun most of the arena fights unless you start reaching teams where they start out with an immunity set, and that's gonna be an issue. So that being said, I like Astralone as a fusion. He does some good damage. It was definitely worth it if you could get him, but it wasn't an easy fusion coming right after Iron Braggle. Me personally, on my free-to-play, couldn't get him just because of that reason. But on the main account, I of course got him. So I'll give Astralone a It's very close between amazing and nice. I wouldn't say he's amazing. Okay, he doesn't have so many uses that would say, oh man, this is an amazing champion. He's definitely a nice champion to have. So a bit strict again with Astralone. So next up is another epic champion. It's going to be Braggle. So we'll go over to the, I think he's a Night Rev, right? So Braggle, he is like a mini Vogoth, I would say. Mini Vogoth in the sense that he, whenever the champion's attack, heals all enemies except this champion by 20% of the damage received. Vogoth has kind of the same thing. I think Vogoth is an undead actually. So Vogoth has a very similar kind of thing. So when he gets attack, heals all allies by 50% of the damage received. So he's like a mini Vogoth, but both of them are epics. So it's kind of a disappointing Vogoth. But definitely a solid champion, not just because of this. He has a way to provoke on an AoE basis. He was an easy fusion as well, and he has a continuous heal on his A1. So the rating that I'm gonna give Bergoth right here, it's okay, maybe Faction Wars, and that's it. I know there's many more uses that you can use him. You can even use him in the Doom Tower. I wouldn't say he's nice. I'm gonna say he's okay, just because of I'm comparing him to Vogoth. Both are epics. I would rather have Vogoth 100% of the time, and Vogoth is you know oftenly used in high gold 4 and sometimes in platinum as well. And then next up is Brachus. If you guys were playing around when we had the Brachus, the Brachus fusion, this was right after Harvest Jag as a fusion, and he was considered an extremely hard fusion. I can't remember the exact word that they used, but yeah, he was considered as an extremely hard fusion. I don't have this champion. I couldn't do it at that time. I wasn't a spender at that time when this fusion was up, so I couldn't just buy my way to pick up Brachus the Shifter. He's actually my only Skinwalker champion at the moment, which I'm missing. I just love this champion. He looks so mean, great. He looks like Warwick from League of Legends. He's got a multi-hitting attack 6 times attack right here on a 3-turn cooldown. He's got this right here that can apply a True Fear, and he's A1 also heals the champion by 15% of the damage inflicted. He's definitely not a bad champion. I love him in many areas of the game, and I love the amount of damage that he can do on a single target. Not only that, he has a revive, which I think is also great. So for Brachus, I'm not gonna give him it's okay, nice. I'm gonna say amazing. Okay, this might be a little bit generous, but the combination of both his looks and all of his skills, that I just like him. He can be used in the clan boss, dungeons, faction wars, arena. So I'm gonna put him in the amazing section right there. Next up is Broadmouth. Broadmouth is one of the permanent fusions that we have. He can definitely be used for faction wars. Not that much else. You can use him in the Doom Tower. There's a stage where you need Listerman. He's good as a support. But other than that, not many people use him. He got recently buffed a little bit. Increased critical rate buff, increased speed on all allies for 2 turns. Also fills the turn turns of all allies by 15%. A solid revive there at a 4-turn cooldown. And then A1 that can freeze. I'm gonna give him a strict rating as it's okay. Maybe Faction Wars. It's not a maybe. You can definitely use him as a Faction Wars champion. He's not absolute trash. And I wouldn't say he's nice, as in I'll use him somewhere else. There's many better champions out there, but if you don't have a reviver, Broadmouth is a choice. And then we've got Cillian the Unlucky. That's what I call him, Cillian the Unlucky. So Cillian the Lucky is actually his name. I actually have 3 copies of this guy, 1 from the fusion, then 2 from summons. He is a solid champion, definitely not only Faction Wars useful. He has this stun right here. You can actually steal the perimeter of the enemy. He has a way to buff himself every single start of the turn, and then he's got an A2 that blocks active skills and also has a 35% chance of placing block active skills debuff on all other enemies. So very good at crowd control if you want him to do that. He also can apply a decreased speed on his A1. So solid champion. I love that thinking when they made him, but they could have made him a little bit better. So he's gonna be a nice. He's not only used for Faction Wars though. If you do have him as one of your legendaries, he can be considered as a Doom Tower choice as well, just because of how much crowd control he can bring to a team. Next up, I don't want to give this guy a better ranking, so let's go over. He is an Ogrin Tribes champion, Drogul right here. He was very much hyped because of his skills on paper, but the use for the champion is very minimal. There's some niche teams that you can use him. He can provide a block damage buff for 1 turn on only allies that are under less than 30% HP. He can provide some shields to all of his allies based on his HP. He's got a very high base max HP, but still, I don't think that he's worth all the effort. He can definitely be used in Faction Wars. I'm not gonna say he's nice. I haven't used him anywhere other than Faction Wars, and I would be surprised if a place opens up. So I'm gonna give him it's okay, maybe Faction Wars for Braggle. Next up, it's Elegance. So I'm actually I should go this way. So next up is Elegance. Elegance right here. Look at him. He is a really cool looking champion. Looks scary. All right. So he's an undead horde. What he has that's great is not only his visuals, but he has, well, where is it? His A2 attacks one enemy, puts the target skills on cooldown, and then if there's copies of that champion within the team, will also put their skills on cooldown. Pretty cool skill, and just because of this, I like this champion. Other than that, I haven't used him. I've got a copy on this guy. He's got a way to prevent him from dying, and then keeps him alive for 1 HP. And then when he's so low in health, he also gains an increased chance to decrease the enemy's perimeters by 20%, and then decrease it by further 0.2% for every 1% of this champion's of HP this champion loses. So this champion could definitely be used in some fun weird teams. And now that I'm reading this, maybe this could be used in a fun combo. But Elegance, I'm gonna give him a nice ranking right here, just because he doesn't have so limited users, for example, compared to Braggle. Next up, we have Folly right here. Folly, such a good champion. Again, I wasn't a spender at the time that this fusion was up, so I missed it actually. Like I wasn't a spender. The only reason I missed the fusion was because Plarium gave us like a fun kind of summoning event right after one of the events that we could acquire one of the champions needed for Foley, and it was an absolute shitstorm to the players, I would say. Just to be frank, all the players got angry because they would think that they would get Foley, but actually not many actually picked him up because of that summoning event that was extremely hard to do unless you were a spender. So Foley, that being said, amazing champion, block revive. I'm gonna give him a God tier. God tier just because of how many areas that you can use him. Fantastic in his PvP power, and that he can actually do a block revive. So next up is gonna be Gurptuck. So Gurptuck, as a champion, not so good at first, but after many players found some use, he has some very cool uses that you can use Gurptuck for. Where's Gurptuck? Ogren Tribes. Okay, I always confuse the two. Ogren Tribes. He applies a poison debuff to your own team, makes them stronger so that they can do more damage. Applies a block buff debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. He has a way to cleanse poisons and also apply a shield buff. And then his A1 applies continuous shield buff for 1 turn on all allies under poison debuffs. So that being said, I love Gurptuck. I use him in some fun teams in terms of getting more damage done on enemies. I wouldn't say he's just nice. I would say that he's amazing just because of the damage potential that he can give to a whole team. Then we've got Harvest Jack, champion before Brackers. So Harvest Jack, this guy, actually a cool champion. I'm not gonna say that he's a bad champion. You can get this guy with very high health. When he gets attacked, decreases the duration of all buffs on the attacker by 1 turn. I think this is great. I think this is awesome. I definitely think that you could go ahead and say that this guy has many uses. True Fear on his big attack here. He's got an A2 that can apply a block buffs for 2 turns on targets under fear. Debuffs, removes any increased attack, and then replaces it with decreased attack, removes continuous heal, replaces it with poisons. So he's great in that, and just because he's so tanky, whenever he gets attacked, this passive works so well, and he becomes annoying on defensive teams. So, oh, and by the way, if you guys never noticed, he has the skulls of Aethel, Elhain, Kale, and Galek here. So isn't that crazy, right? So where do I put Harvest Jack? I'm not gonna put him as amazing. I'm gonna put him as a nice. Nice champion. So definitely nice. Next up is the latest edition, Herndik. Herndik, I have more experience with Herndik on my free-to-play account, and I'm excited about this guy. I could give him a God tier, honestly. A God tier ranking, but I don't want to just be giving the God tier left and right. I'm gonna give him an amazing ranking just because of how much he can bring into a team, but he's very close. Like if I had another tier in between, I could put him in there definitely, like amazing 2 God tier. So I love the amount of damage that he does. There's many content creators out there who did videos on this guy. I'm doing videos on this guy on my free-to-play account. He replaced my farmer, my nuker. He's replaced my debuffers. Fantastic champion, and I wish you guys got him in the latest fusion. So yeah, definitely be careful about that. So I'm gonna give Herndik a amazing ranking right there. Next up, guys, we've got Iron Braggle, the very first fusion of the year. Iron Braggle, such a fantastic champion. Oh man, such a fantastic champion. I just love Iron Braggle so much. A2 that applies a stun and increased defense buff on all allies for 3 turns. 3 turns cooldown. AoE attack down, and then also a 3-turn cooldown. Such a great champion. I wish everyone got him. He's got a great passive right here. Increases the defense of all allies by 10% of this champion's defense. A1 that decreases the duration of all buffs by 1 turn. I love this guy so much that I even have a dupe of him on my free-to-play. So I've got 2 of them. Yeah. As I said, I'm not going to give everybody a God tier. So I'm going to give this guy an amazing ranking. But could be God tier. Just saying. Could be God tier. He does solid damage. He does great stuns, great buffing, great debuffing. Such a great champion. And then next up, we've got Kantra. Kantra, I don't even remember when she was available through a fusion. Such a great champion. Very unique in what she does. She can actually not get a weak hit for her debuff. So she can apply debuffs on enemies and not get a weak hit. So weak hits usually, well, not usually. Yeah, usually don't let you do the debuffs, but she does them just because of this passive. She also gains healing whenever debuffs expire on enemies, and then she applies a ton of debuffs. Look at all these debuffs that she can apply to enemies using her A2. Great accuracy boost here on her aura, and overall fantastic, a fantastic tank for spy. So I'm definitely gonna give her a nice ranking. So we've got the final few fusions right here, and this is looking cool. This is looking good, right? Let's see where Krila lands in this one. Krila, I think you guys know where she's gonna land. She's a great champion, used by many teams out there at the moment. She's got a stun and a ally attack skill right there. She boosts increased attack and critical rate. She goes so well with Seer. If you have Seer in your team, Faction Wars makes it so easy. I'm gonna give Krila an amazing ranking right there. Very easy to rank her. Not gonna give her a God tier. She's not God tier. The reason is she used to be bad because of the custom AI. Now with the custom AI, she's actually much better because you can choose when you want her to do her ally attack and when you want her to do her buffing first. But really solid champion. She's in many clan boss teams as well. Amazing in her ranking. Next up, we've got Molly. Molly was right before Harvest Jack, right after Foley. So Molly is one of the first few dwarves that we have. When she gets attacked, she gives turn return to your whole team. She can actually revive the whole team. She can actually provoke all of the enemies. She's got an A1 that applies, does more damage based on if the enemy has an HP burn debuff. So this champion is great. Not gonna give her a God tier, although I could maybe I should give her a God tier. Now that I'm looking at the list, maybe I'll have too many God tiers if I do. So I'll give her an amazing, but she's definitely a little bit higher than Krila, Brackes, Gurptuck. Maybe Gurptuck now I could drop to nice. Maybe I'll reconsider them by the end of this video, but Let's go on to the next one. Yeah, she's such a great champion. Next one is Pixneal, the Christmas 2020 fusion champion. And to go with the spirit of the whole year, Plarium decided to give us a champion that we would hate them for and represent the whole year 2020 was. So 2020 was such a bad year because of COVID. Everyone was stayed inside. You wanted to play a game and said, Plarium decided, okay, we'll give all the players a reward that they'll enjoy, and that's going to be Pixneal. Pixneal is a useless champion. She needs like 56 legendary skill books for her to actually work. She is used in 0 teams out there, maybe 1 or 2. I don't know. I've never used her. I have her at 5 stars, I think, still on my main account. Don't plan on using her anytime soon. Such a bad champion. The whole idea with her is about freezing enemies and enemies that freeze you. It doesn't work as she's supposed to. She doesn't provide anything to the team. There's so many better champions out there that can manipulate freezes and just be a part of your team. So wow, such a bad champion, such a bad champion. So you guessed it, right, guys? I'm gonna give her the absolute trash rating right there. Next up is going to be Relic Keeper, another one of the permanent fusions. Very easy choice for me to actually go over and show this guy for you. He was the king of 2019, I would say, in terms of, which champion should I be using to farm the campaign. At the very first month that I played the game, I didn't know that your main champion could farm the campaign. Everyone was saying in forums on Reddit, you should get your Relic Keeper and max him out so that you can farm the campaign. He's got a great campaign aura and it's gonna work great. But nobody knew that if you build your Aethel, right, or your Kale, you can actually go so much further within this game. There was players who were doing multiple fusions of Relic Keeper just so that they could max out his skills because of how good they thought he was. They were doing multiple fusions. Like, I remember those comments and thinking, man, this is gonna be a huge grind to max out this guy. But thank God for all those content creators out there, including myself. I wanna say that we actually find users in other champions, so that doing tons of fusions of a Relic Keeper is not something that's recommended or even close to recommended anymore. So Relic Keeper, I'm gonna say it's okay, maybe faction wars. He's definitely not absolute trash. He can get some big numbers with his nukes. Next up, Razin Skarhyde. He is the god of, oh man, I wish I get lucky with getting some rares. Okay, he is the god of that kind of wish list. You pick up some rares, you say, yes, that was my final rare needed for Razin Skarhyde. Such a great champion. He was the king of clan boss teams right before we started getting all those unkillable teams in the clan boss, and everybody was going, okay, I want an unkillable team. Razin started to fade at that point in his use, but he's still used in high defense teams. Now with the introduction of many more champions like Iron Braggle and Brogni, he's starting to miss out on his usage. There's other more tankier champions who also provide damage. So he's starting to lose out, but still such a good champion. I'm gonna say he is God tier in my heart, but in terms of ranking for this specific video, I'm not sure if I'm gonna give him a God tier. Remember, I'm being very strict. This is not a, it's just a personal list that I'm making. I'm gonna give him an amazing ranking, but I'll reconsider it just because I'm looking at all the other champions here and I'm just piling up the amazing ones, and I'll need to demote somebody maybe. We'll think about it. Next up, Rotos the Lost Groom. Do I need to say more? Rotos the Lost Groom, the strongest legendary champion ever provided through a fusion, I would say, just because of how broken he is. After a nerf, he still is broken. He can spam his turns with his A1. With the Relentless set, he's just a joke to fight against. He can get his max HP very, very high. You put a Sifi with him, he becomes a nightmare to deal with. Just an insane champion. I wish everyone out there has a Roto so that they can understand how stupidly broken this guy is. Of course, God tier, no questions asked. Rule the Huntmaster. Rule the Huntmaster. Another recent fusion. He's okay. He's okay. He's good as a damage dealer, good as a champion that applies hex to the whole of the enemy team. That hex that he applies decreases speed, decreases resistance, and increases the damage dealt by all your other champions. I wouldn't say that he is a fantastic champion out of niche situations. As a nuker, like on my free-to-play account, an account that would say, okay, we just got Rule the Handmaster, I have Darklehane. Which one should I keep on using in Arena? Darklehane was the solid choice. Not only do you need legendary books, let's say for free-to-play, to actually get something out of him, but he is not there in terms of his skill set and what he's supposed to be doing. He needs to get 2 turns to get his damage going and get that double hitting attack with the hex. Maybe with the addition of more champions in the game that apply a hex, maybe he can find a use. So I'm not gonna give him the it's okay maybe faction wars. No, I'm actually gonna give him that. I'm gonna give him it's okay maybe faction wars just because of how infrequently I see him in teams out there. I don't of course watch every single video, but have many YouTube channels. I'm subscribed to many other YouTubers out there, so I see what's happening in the community and see when somebody makes a fun video or something that I should pay attention to, just to see on how how people think about using champions within the game. So it's okay, maybe faction wars. He can definitely be used in faction wars, but it's okay. Next up is Shamrock. I think this guy was a fusion right before I started playing the game, so right before May 2019. So Shamrock is a fun champion. He got buffed, and he's still okay in the sense that he can apply some fun buffs to your team depending on how much health they have. He can apply some nice debuffs to the enemy team, decrease their terminators, fills the buffs, fills the terminators of all your allies if the enemy's terminator is below 50%. 50%. So a fun champion to use. I wouldn't say he is limited only to faction wars, but just because of my strict ranking at the moment, I'm gonna give him a it's okay maybe faction wars ranking, but I could see him being used in many other teams as a fun way to control enemy teams. And yeah, I'm gonna keep him there. Okay, just because of all the other champions in the list. Next up, Sir Nicholas. Yes, guys, he was a fusion in the past. Sir Nicholas was a fusion in the past, and straight up, without even saying, he's gonna go to the God tier. Unkillable to your whole team. A big shield with his A2. So such a big shield, he puts Miscreant Monster to shame. Okay, based on 30% of the damage inflicted, he hits hard. He's got an unkillable on his A3, and now with the custom AI, you can actually build your own unkillable teams. His A1 applies a freeze debuff, cannot be resisted. His aura gives more HP to everybody. Fantastic champion, damage based on HP. You don't need any accuracy on him. He still do the freezes. He'll give your whole team a big shield. He'll do the unkillable. He'll give a continuous heal. Amazing champion. I got him through a champion training tournament and was definitely worth the grind for picking this guy up. I wish everybody could get him. So next up is is one of the fusions that I found the most fun doing, because let's go to Lizaman. Let's go to Lizaman. This guy was such a fun champion to farm for. Skull Vargal. The reason was he has a fun way with Skullsworn that he revives a Skullsworn at the beginning of his turn. And you can use this to cheese faction wars, of course, and you can use this in arena for fun. I made a very fun video in the past when he was being released. He's such a good champion. Look at his resist, look at his accuracy. Let me move a little bit. So base 90 resist, base 70 accuracy. A fun champion to go against in arena because of how tanky he is. He's not used all that much, but he was used in the past a little bit. I'm gonna say he's definitely a nice champion to have, and definitely makes the faction wars extremely easy. So wouldn't put him in the it's okay maybe faction wars ranking. So next up, guys, we've got Torment. Torment got tier. Not even gonna say anything. The reason that he's God tier is that he's still annoying in 2021 wherever you find him. You find him in arena, he's annoying. You find him in Doom Tower, he's twice as annoying because usually they put 2 copies of him in there. He's so annoying because of this passive that it's just crazy how this passive can bring so much anger to players. So whenever you like buff or heal your own team or fill their terminators, no, I think that the healing they removed it, but in the past when you healed your team, you also had the chance to freeze him. But then they nerfed him, and that's how he is at the moment. And he is so annoying. He made the requirement of running immunity sets on your champions just because he was found so much on defense, and then he like made us use immunity sets on the offensive champions. And then we got 3 fusions remaining, guys. I'm sorry this video is going too long, but I had to do one, right? Under Priest Brogni, another God tier champion. We've got 5 in the list, and that's gonna be it for the God tiers. Under Priest Brogni, honestly, I didn't know that he was gonna be so good. Like when I got him on my free-to-play account, I was like, okay, he's an okay champion. Like, where could I use Under Priest Brogni? And then I started seeing many players who got creative with Under Priest Brogni, especially for the clan boss, and doing amazing amounts of damage just because of utilizing this passive right here of reflecting the damage inflicted on the shield back to the attacker. I love this champion. He provides so much to the team. He provides a shield. He provides a cleanse basically of 1 debuff and a increase the value of all shields by 30% of the damage inflicted. He's got an A1 that applies an HP burn. Great champion. I'm giving him a God tier because of how many places that you can use Under Priest Brogni currently within the game. And then finally, we have 2 more, guys. Let's go and see them. So Lizardman, Vergumkar, he was. Everybody was speculating about Vergumkar. Okay, Vergumkar, where are we going to use this guy? He's going to be right before the Doom Tower. There's going to be stages in the Doom Tower that are going to be extremely difficult. We're going to be needing to remove the provokes. This didn't happen. He is an okay champion. The only one that I know that's immune to provokes and also giving Termiter on this champion. Maybe Foley is also immune. Maybe there's more, but such a disappointing champion. He can be used in some situations, but no, I'm not even gonna give him the Faction Wars tier right here. I'm gonna give him a trash reward, trash tier as his reward. I don't think he's that bad as Pixneal. But I just was very disappointed. Very disappointed. I'm sorry if I offend anyone out there who uses Vergumkar in one of his teams that is like a hidden gem team. But please show me. I feel so bad about Vergumkar. He looks cool, like a cool dinosaur, but that's it. And finally, Yoshi. I'm gonna give him a nice ranking right here. We've got an equal amazing to nice. I think I'm gonna keep it that way. It shows a solid ranking of champions. Maybe I could remove Gurptuck from here. I wouldn't say that he's amazing. Okay, this looks better. Gurptuck, he's still used in teams, but I mean Brackus. I just love Brackus overall. So it's a close between Gurptuck and Brackus. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it like this. So Yoshi, I give him a nice. The reason is he's definitely used in some teams. He's got a fun kit. He's a Shadowkin. He's gonna be a requirement, I think, to beat the Shadowkin Faction Wars when that eventually pops up. He's got such a great way to control enemies with the True Fear that he can apply, which is a very solid way of controlling enemies. He's got a fills the champion's terminated by 4% each time an enemy receives a buff. So that's another great thing to have. Increase ally speed in all battles by 19%. That can be also used for when the Faction Wars pop up. He's used in Arena as a way to interrupt the enemies. So he's definitely not just a Faction Wars champion. He's a solid champion. So this was the tier list, guys. This was the tier list. It definitely took way longer for me to rank them out. But I think it was a fun video. If you guys disagree with anything here on the list, of course, leave it down below. I think I'll keep this template and just update it like every couple of months when we get a few more fusions coming in. So like in 5 fusions time, I'll come here and maybe think over the tier list again, and then just move somebody up, move somebody down. But that's it. This is a fun tier list that I made for fusions. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And guys, I'll see you in the next one. See ya!